In a number of the videos that you've maybe already watched, many a time we've done grouping. And what we mean by that is we've taken something like maybe the zone and then broken that down by country or broken that down by, company, that type of thing. So a lot of the fields have kind of related fields that we can use to kind of break them down by. In this situation, what I want to do is I want to create a little summarization that shows the revenue and the profit and the commission that were made by each of our reps. Okay, that part, that's the easy part. We've done that sort of thing already. But what I want to do is then take groups of those reps and actually put them into their own like group headings. But the group headings are not going to come from our data here. In other words, when we look at the rep, let me show you the rep column here. So as far as the rep goes, it's just their name. That's it. That's all we have, other than what they maybe pulled in as well as far as their bonus on that particular sale. But the idea is that these reps actually belong to one of three different groups. All right, we have what are called the senior reps, we have the junior reps, and we have the rookie reps. And so what I want to do is I want to group the summarization by those three categories, and then within those categories have the reps that are part of those categories or groups. All right, so it's kind of an interesting aspect here, but the bottom line is that one of the problems that we're going to have doing this initially is that none of the reps, when you look at the list here, you don't see who they belong to. I mean, I don't know, by looking at this, I don't know what Peacock was part of. Is Peacock a senior rep, a junior rep, or a rookie rep? Now, what I could do is I could, in my data here, insert a new column and call it, group or whatever you want to call it, and then next to each one of those have either senior, junior, or rookie reps. All right, and you could do that pretty easily by maybe sorting it by the rep name. So you could have like Peacock, and let's just say Peacock is part of the rookie reps. Put in their rookie rep and then copy that all the way down as far as Peacock goes, and then do it for the rest of your reps. Now we've got about 15 reps. It won't take that long to do, but the way I'm going to show you, we're going to do this grouping within the pivot table itself, where it'll save you a ton of time. All right, so without further ado, let's try this out. So first of all, we'll go ahead here to insert, we'll go to the pivot table, we'll hit OK, there we are, and then we'll bring in the rep field. So I'll go ahead and find the rep down here, drag that into the rows area. There's my 15 or so reps. Now, I want to bring in the revenue so that they generate. So we're going to go to the total sale, drag that down into the values area. There we go. Now I need to bring in profit. I don't have profit as a field, so I need to go back into my Analyze, go over here to Fields and Items, Calculated Field, PR for profit, and then for the formula, we'll take the total sale minus the total cost. All right, just double click each one of those. Put a little minus in between, right? We hit OK. There's our profit. All right. Now the commission, okay, we actually have a field for that, so we're just going to go ahead and actually, I should say commission, but the bonus here would be the bonus dollars here. So I can take that and drag that underneath the profit there, and now I've got those three going across. That's all I need. All right, for that part. The other thing I want to do, though, is I want to kind of break this down by year, all right, because what you're looking at right now would be all 4 or 5 years. So I'm going to go up to my order date, put that above the values, right, over here. Now when I do that, I'll get, the quarters, the years, the months. I don't need all that. I just need to have the years. So as we've seen before, we just click on one of them, go to our Analyze, go to our Group field, all right? and take off the months and the quarters and just leave the years there. Hit OK, and there we go. Not bad. Now I can go over here to the sum of T sale, double click that, call that, let's say, revenue. Well, actually, I'll just rename it here as well. But I can put revenue in there, right? But the main thing is I want to go to number format, number, commas, no decimals, hit OK a few times, takes care of that one. Same thing with the, now for the sum of PR, we can just put on there, we can just put their profit, right? Oop. And then we got that. And then for the bonus, that's just going to be, well, I guess we just call, well, it's bonus with a dollar symbol there. We'll just call it, I guess we just call it bonus. Get away with that because the field name is actually bonus with a dollar symbol in there. All right. And of course, we can double click that, go to our number format, number, commas, 0, hit OK, and there we go. So that looks pretty good. Now, the next thing is, we got all this in place now. I mean, we can go ahead too and just, you know, maybe do our formatting here, but we'll worry about that later on. What I want to do now, though, is get these into the groups, all right? And it just so happens the first 5 or so here are actually part of one of the groups. And we'll name the groups later on, but in this case, these 5 right here, okay, we'll just kind of select them just like that. They're going to be part of one of our groups, right? So we select that, and then what we do is we go back into the Analyze, and we tell it to group the selection. I mean, it's that easy. Now this group here, I'll just click up here. This was what we called the senior reps, just like that. Enter it in, so there's your first group. Pretty easy. Now the next one here, we're gonna click on the Hendricks, right? Hold down the Control key. I'm gonna do Kingsley, Peacock. It doesn't matter if you do the heading or the unbolded one. It could be either one you can do here. And let's say we want to do Ruger. So those 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we'll just do those 4 there. And go back up here and hit Group Selection. Oh, I did something wrong there. I think what I did was I kind of mixed it up here a little bit. You have to kind of stay consistent. So I'm just going to go, I'll do Hendricks, Control key, Kingsley, Peacock, and Seguzia. So I'll just do it like that. Hit my group selection, and there we go on that. So group 2, we're going to call that one the junior reps. Okay. And for the last group here, we'll take Jagger, Control key, Lujack, Ruger, Suyama, Walther, and Zollers. I think that's it. And we're going to go ahead and group those, just like that. And they're going to be called, in this case, the rookies. So the rookie reps. Enter that in. And there we go. Depending on the version of Excel that you're using, you might end up not getting the subtotals up here for each of the groups. Okay, this happened automatically. I've got like the newest version of Excel here. We're using, you know, the Office 365 here, so always have the most up to date here. But if you've got anything less than this, it might end up where it won't do the subtotals. If that happens, all you have to do is you go into the Design tab, all right? You go over here to Subtotals, and you tell it that you want to show the subtotals either at the top or bottom of the group. Now, let me just show you what it would look like without them. That's what you normally have. So if you've got a lesser version, you might end up having it look like this. How do you fix it? Just go back into Design, go to your subtotals, and just say you want to put the subtotal, let's say, at the top of each of the groups, and then they all go in there. Pretty cool. Now, once you've done that, we can go to Design, go to our medium area here, you know, pick a color that you want, all right? Tell it you want to do some banding, you know, some extra banding on there so you can actually see more border there. And you might also want to insert some blank rows between each of the groups. I mean, that's pretty powerful. So the amount of time it took us to do that grouping, it was like maybe if I wasn't talking, I was just doing it, could have knocked it off in less than a minute. That is far quicker than having to go into the actual data and actually put in each of those names for the corresponding rep. I mean, it'd be crazy. So this is definitely the way to go. Now, because we've got this grouping set up, it knows now that Adams and Buchanan and Callahan and so forth, all the people in each of these groups, it knows that they are part of either senior, junior, or rookie. So now what I can actually do is actually pull the rep field off, which would be this one right here. See, we got the rep 2 field, which is what we have for our groups. That's what it's called. You're not going to see that out here. It's not going to be part of this. It's just going to be part of your pivot itself. But my point is I can pull the rep off just like that. I'm left now with all my reps, but these are still the same. Let me just hit undo here. It's the same numbers. If you look at that and I take the rep off, those subtotals are still the same numbers. So we haven't lost anything. Now what I can do is I can actually bring in other fields, right? So I can say that, let's say I'll bring in, let's say the life cycle underneath the rep 2. So do something like that. So now, as far as the senior reps go, this is what they produced in revenue and profit and bonus off of these plant types. That's pretty cool, right? I could take the life cycle off on that one. I could maybe find something else here. Let's say I could bring in, let's say, the zone. Do something like that. Pretty cool, all right? Again, this is all very accurate information. All the reps that had sold in Africa or Asia or whatever it was, these are perfectly, good numbers here. Very accurate, all right? I can pull the zone off, let's say. And maybe I could go down here to the, wrong way there, and bring in company instead. Now this is we're going to get a lot more here, but bring in the company, and look at that. So this is the profit. So as far as the senior reps go, the ones that sold Antonio, Bon Appetit, or whatever, these were the revenues and the profits and the bonuses that were generated from selling to these companies. So there's so many different ways you can look at your numbers and make some sense out of them and start conversations with them and have meetings about this stuff, right? I mean, if you've always feared having to go to a meeting to explain, the numbers, all right? I mean, just think about what we've done up to this point. I mean, this is, you're creating almost hours, or you can potentially create hours worth of analysis in a meeting. You might put people to sleep, but, you could possibly do something like that, right? So pretty good stuff there. So hopefully you can start using some of this stuff. I appreciate you watching the video. Take care.